G'day guys, how's this gadget? I bought this on AliExpress, $42 free shipping. And as you can see, uh, it looks a lot better in real life than what it does on the camera, but anyway, 42 bucks. And the thing I like about this, excuse my voice, I went and visited a hospital in Melbourne, not for myself, and I made sure I didn't touch anything, and I touched the bloody lift button, didn't I? And then I went to McDonald's and bought 2 beef burger patties and ate them. And guess what I got? I got the good old COVID. Anyway, it's having hardly any effect on me. It's just made my voice funny and just a little bit of a sore throat. It's 2 days now, so it's not really worrying me, bothering me at all. So anyway, I think COVID's the actual flu, but oops, I shouldn't say that. It's just my opinion. Yeah. Got a bit of a cough too. But anyway, back onto this. I've got a little tiny circuit board there. You can see it. That's my finger sitting down there. And yeah, I'm just looking at a couple of chips on it. The thing about this too, if I remember what buttons to push, is it that one? No, that one, I think. There we go. We can zoom right in. Like, God, you know, is there any shorts on that, you know, that capacitor, or I think it's a capacitor. You know, you can, God, it zooms in beautifully. And the thing I like about this the most, if I turn it side on, it's going to grip, it's got rubber feet on it, of course. Oh, it also goes up and down too, so you can fit different things in there. So it goes up and down. And there's your focus there. So you can go way out of focus, or, you know, there you are, focused. So it's very adaptable. It goes right up, goes right down. Now I'll pull this around, otherwise you won't know what I'm talking about. You can throw a bloody detector circuit board under that too. There's enough room to do it, and you can zoom in on whatever. You can zoom in on whatever. I'm just saying, because I've been doing the detectors. I did have some. I did do some chips. I changed chips on a 2100 that would not ground balance in a million years, and it was those chips that are very, very close to those trim pots, and where the ribbons are, it's all dark and dank, and you can't really see down there. So I got this to actually help making sure that when I put the chips in, I haven't got any shorts or anything. Yeah. So I'm gonna cough a couple of times because of this. Yeah, yeah. Whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Crazy. Anyway, it has rechargeable batteries in it. Comes with a charge cable. There's me wiggling it all over the place. But anyway, 42 bucks, guys. Fair income, 42 bucks. Unbelievable. It's one of those that you put on choice. It says choice, and that gives you free shipping. And on this one, it said free shipping if you spend more than $15 with this, whoever the company was. I bought it on AliExpress through, and yeah, it was free shipping anyway. God, I should have got 2 of them. But yeah, rechargeable. It has a C-type connector for charging it. Charged up in a couple of hours. I don't know how long it lasts for. You can turn the LEDs on and off somehow in the menu. I just haven't gone right through. And yeah, you know, that is really good, because I've got another one. You got to plug it into the computer. And if you're on the workbench, what are you going to do? Drag the computer over there? No, no, no. You know, that's just horrible. So this is standalone. You take it to where you want to go and work on it. But my God, you know, that's 42 Australian too. Probably 32 or something US, free ship. So, you know, I'd say it's just too good a bargain to pass up. Absolutely brilliant. Works beautifully. Yeah. Also has an SD slot too. You can take pictures of what you want. And I think through the charge port too, you can connect it up through some software to a monitor program if you want it as big as on the monitor screen there, if you want it that big. But anyway, guys, I'll tell you what I got in. I did make a video of this because I've done the detector now, and I made a video just for my own reference, and then halfway through the video, I'll turn this off. Halfway through the yeah, it says goodbye. Oh dear me. Yeah, it's a solid little thing too. And yeah. Anyway, back onto that. I made this video, and I thought to myself, "Oh, damn! I should have put it up." But I didn't feel like it. I was a bit sort of headed because of this lurgy. Yeah, freaking damn lift button. I know it was the lift button. It's the only thing I touched. Anyway, getting onto this, I'm going to hit the play button on this and observe. This is a very close to brand new GPX 5000 that belongs to a very, very well-known identity, and he wants us to give it the full works of mods. I'm not going to say his name, just in case he doesn't want me to, but yeah, I'll hit the play. Oh, hang on, I'm going to go back here and hit the play button. So there it is. I hope this is good enough for you. I'm pretty sure it is. Now, I'll put the microphone under the computer on the Mac, just so you can hear it. You probably can't hear me now. Anyway, whatever. Here we go. So I'll hit the play button. So have a listen and observe. This is a reference video, GPX 5000 standard. It has been reset to factory default. We are in fixed, cancel, fine gold, and we are in general mode. We are using 0.05 test target. We are using the double D elliptical coil, and I have a stack of post-it notes, 5.5 centimeters. Nothing. Does not detect. Does not detect. Test target 0.0025. Can't get that either. Does not detect. 0.012. Who's feeding them? This is how deaf they are. Does not detect. Zero 0.1 gram, 5.5 centimeters. At least it can get that. 8 centimeters, if you're lucky. So standard GPX 5000 factory default settings will not pick up those small targets. It will not. This is just a reference video for comparison catches. Now, there you go. So it'll work on a 0.1, but when you start getting down lower, the sensitivity really drops off. So anyway, I'll put this microphone back on me somewhere there. Don't fall off. I think that's working. Yeah. So what I've done now, I'll just grab this monster of a tripod. Come here, you. I'll move it slow so no one gets car sick. So people tell me. Okay, this is the 5000 down here. And remember I said all the new stuff? Now I'd have to put this here, otherwise you're not going to see. Oh, I can show all the stuff that I've done to this one. If you can see that, you can tell that everything is being done in epoxy. And that is to, well, this is really good hard epoxy. And the way I've done the board, if you try and chisel out the epoxy, you will destroy the circuitry. So trust me on this, do not try and cut the epoxy away to see what's underneath. I guarantee you, you'll destroy the boards and you'll not know what's going on, right? This is totally different, very much different. That's why I want to do all these other detectors. Anyway, this is the detector after. So I'll get this tripod, and this is just basically, it's got, well, I'll point it out. It's got variable gain in it. You can see it here. I haven't mounted it, but that's the variable gain pot there. So what I'm going to do now is undo that. I'm going to put this up so I get the coil height. You got to remember that all the back panel settings, except for manual tuning. Oopsie, get over here. Are you high enough? Yeah, that should do the trick. Everything's factory default except for manual tuning, because I've turned that to variable frequency. The back gain's the same, whatever it sits at, 12 or whatever. So we'll turn this thing on and we'll give it a test. I haven't got the other microphone at the back, so I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this. Well, maybe you'll hear that. You've got the amp cranked up. Or maybe it'll work. I'll call it out as it goes anyway. Now this is pretty cranked. So we use the 0.05 on this setup. Now I've got to get round to the other side here. I can pick it up at about 7 on the 0.05. If we go to the 0.1, on the other one, I think I got it at 8 or something. Runs out at about 10. So if you go from roughly putting out at 8 to putting out 10, that's 20%. Now this has because I'm doing it at night, it has to get noisy. It's unreal. Okay, get rid of these and go for the 0.05. You remember the other detector? Oh, that when it was standard wouldn't pick it up in a million years. Picks it up at about a centimetre. Where's that other microphone? Oh, if I had the other microphone, I'd stick it there, but I can't see it. Yeah, I can't see it. I don't know where it is. Anyway, persevere. I'll try to face my body at the speaker. See if that improves. Yeah, it's a little bit in the noise, but that's all right. Balances hot rocks perfectly, and I just realised, dear mate, I was doing a damn mistake when I was doing the 45s against the 5000. I was doing the 45 in fine gold. Sorry, the 45. Yeah, this lurgy's really got me. Try again. The 45 in sensitive extra, and I was doing the 5000s in fine gold, just fine gold. And I wasn't putting the 5000s into sensitive extra. So I should have cottoned onto that. I was just flicking the switch. You know, you flick a switch and you think it's a light bulb going on. Well, it wasn't. I was putting it in different modes. So sensitive extra is, as far as I can tell, a lot more sensitive than fine gold. Okay? So now I'll just turn this off. I want to explain this. Oh, and does hot rocks, no problem. Choose them up, same as anything else. Okay. We have to put this down now. So bear with me. And I got some smaller chairs too, so I don't even know. Where are we? Okay. Oh, well, I should be in frame because I'm running the front camera for high definition. Okay. We've had people say, what's the better detector? 4500 or 5000? And my argument was always, well, the 5000's got fine gold and the 45 hasn't. But I've had people say fine gold isn't as responsive to hot rocks and hot ground as sensitive extra. What I found after these upgrades and modifications, sensitive extra doesn't care less about hot ground or hot rocks. Not at all. And as far as I can tell, it's less affected than fine gold with hot rocks, which is really surprising. So that being said, if you want really tiny gold and you want really good performance across the whole other modes of operation, don't worry about getting a 5000, get a 4500 because I can't see the difference. And I'll tell you, people will probably disagree, but everyone's got an opinion. You know, just like everyone's got a posterior, and everyone has an opinion. So my opinion is that modified sensitive extra, as far as I can tell, on small gold outperforms fine gold. Okay, that's my opinion, and I've got people who will argue with me. I've just tested this locally. I haven't gone out, and I haven't gone and got my $3,000 plane flight to Kalgoorlie and gone and tested it on the Kalgoorlie goldfields. I've just done it locally. But I do have customers who basically from the tip of the Palmer River all the way down to near Esperance. So it's right across the country and everything in between, and even overseas. There's plenty of detectors we've done for overseas. We've done detectors for South America, um, Brazil, Venezuela, Argentina, um, in the US, all the gold-bearing states, even Canada, Alaska, um, Nevada, yeah, all sorts of places. Not that I can probably remember most of them. And yeah, the detectors go really well. So I thought about this too with these detectors. Do I want to be careful how I say this because I don't want to act like I'm sort of, you know, disparaging people's knowledge base or anything. But I was thinking, we'll use the proper terminology. We have novices and experts. If I did up a detector and I gave it a tad more on everything I've done, that you could push it to the limit. Like you could go full gain, but you'd have to remember to turn the frequency back a bit, or crank the gain full up, and you'd have to remember to, turn one up and one down, or vice versa, whatever. So you don't saturate the detector's front end. Also dependent on the ground and coil type and a lot of factors. Now, I thought about this, and a novice might just crank everything full bore, trying to get as much gold as they can, and happen to be on very highly mineralized soil they didn't know that it was, or wouldn't even know the difference of any type of soil, and completely stuff their day up. Or you get the expert who will know, and you'd say, beauty. Um, this guy's been detecting for 20 years. But I'll tell you what, I've found they also stuff it up. They go for, well, it's like go for gold, go for everything cranked up, and they desense the detector. So what I've done this time, I'm going to do it in a way that no one can stuff it up. Now, even though it's got very, very, very good performance overall, you can turn the gain full up on any mode, doesn't care. You can turn the frequency full up on any mode, doesn't care. You can flick it into anything, whatever, don't care. You can put it on red hot ground. Your ears will tell you that you got too much gain if it's the detector squawking like going crazy. That's self-obvious to me, but maybe not to others. Turn the gain back a bit. So I've tried to do this and make it foolproof. Sore throat, bear with me. I'm persevering. But yeah, um, I'm making it as foolproof, and I should say novice proof, or even overzealous expert proof as I can. Because we're talking the extra performance. If I actually made it so one performance criteria basically smashed into another and desensed the detector, we're probably talking about 2%. It's not worthwhile. It's not worth the headaches. The people who say, "Oh, well, I went out and I did this, and oh, it was running really quiet, but no, I completely desensed the machine and kept detecting." Those days of doing that are over. I just don't want that to happen. Minelab don't do that with their detectors. Standard. You can't crank it up to a point where it's going to desense or not work. Well, you can crank the back gain up, and then it'll sound like a bucket of loose bolts carrying on hot ground, of course. But you got to sort of have an idea of what you're doing. You can't just go out and just go hell for leather and away you go. So on these settings, you can set it anywhere you want, do whatever you want. It's going to pick up the finest gold, the smallest gold. It's going to pick up the biggest gold. It's not going to be a problem. So in that regard, it works good. Where you could get into trouble if you go and turn up the Minelab gain on the back and crank it up to 20, you'll just make the detector noisy. And what I've actually discovered, just leave it on factory default. It doesn't actually improve any depth. It just brings up the noise. That's why I went for a complete standalone low noise front end, lower noise than what they come out standard with, and very close to the front end variable gain. Don't use the back gain. Don't. It's too far back in the circuitry. You don't want that. You want sort of as much as you can get out the front end. It's a noise figure calculation. I'm not going to go into it, but trust me, it's imperative to keep all your gain on the input and don't try and boost it afterwards because you're just going to pull up noise, even noise in the rest of the circuit. It's going to pull it up and amplify it with the signal. So we try and avoid that. So anyway, this one here uh, is done. I'm amazed I actually finished it. And as you can see, I'll just pop this stuff out so I can show you. I always pull out those mylars when you pick these up because it will want to break, and hopefully you can see that everything now is potted. It's called a conformal coating, right? So everything is potted, and yeah, there's a lot of work on the back of this too, which I don't want to show. I've got to go and give that the treatment. There's some parts in there which I've got to give them the kiss of the Dremel tool. And if actually I found a better way of doing it. This little thing here, and it's got a little diamond ball on it. Well, and just low speed. I'll do it on this anyway. I'll show you. Like there's a tip there you can clearly read the name of. Okay. And now you can't. So there's a lot of things that we're going to do. Anything's been replaced for any reason, it's going to get obscured. So yeah, also everything on those boards, I've given them the Dremel, and then I'll put a very, very hard layer of metallized epoxy over them, and you won't get into it. I actually did on my old boards, and this is funny. I did on a couple of my old boards and let them cure. And when I was doing tests, I said, "Oh, God, I think I should have changed that to that." And I tried to dig it out where that part. Oh, no, you can't dig it out. It's inert to chemicals. You can't get it out or get it off with chemicals. And once I did that years and years ago, I actually got a board, and I thought I would get all the epoxy off the board. And I can't remember what it was. Did we use carbon tetrachloride or something? We used something that gives you cancer and it's very, very dangerous, and put an ultrasonic cleaner with this chemical. It might have been some other fluorinated cancer causing something, but anyway, and we left it in there, and yeah, we dissolved the epoxy. But this is what happened. It dissolved the board. It dissolved all the resin in the fiberglass. It dissolved all the plastic housings on all the chips and the transistors, and all these things are hanging in midair off this flexible copper that was on fiberglass fibers. So yeah, I learned not to do that. I won't be doing that again. So anyway, that is that done. That one done. And yeah, still got more to do. So yeah, like I said in a previous video, if other people think it's good to use those coatings and grind numbers off, well, I shall too. The precedent has been set, and yeah, there's some real novel changes I've done on these boards, and it allows you to run fine gold at full game, right? At high frequency. Beforehand, you can't. You had limitations. You went over a certain criteria, jacked it up too much, and every other mode would work beautifully. Fine gold would sit there and go, woo! It would just basically jam up everything and wouldn't work. So I've taken a really novel approach to alleviating that little issue. And now you can run everything flat out if you want to. I don't actually suggest running everything flat out, but you can if you want. If the ground's quiet, yeah, run it flat out. If it's noisy ground, don't, because you're just going to buckets of noise. I know there's people who detect like that. I've watched some videos on YouTube recently with some detectors that people have done some tricks to them, and I don't know how they detect. It's bopping away. It's out in the middle of the goldfield, and it sounds like it's in suburbia. The amount of noise, it's like burp, 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 like that, and they're detecting with it. But anyway, horses for courses. I like my detector quiet. Just a little bit of noise, just on the very, very edge, because too much noise desensitizes your brain. Believe me on this. You don't want to keep feeding all these up and down noises into your ears. It will um, really turn you off, 100%. So be careful with that. Now, I've spoken to some of our customers who've used our new fancy headphones. Have I got some here? These ones. You probably saw the test I did. I put the microphone inside and did a count. You can't hear anything. Two guys. What's his name? I'm not going to say your last name, but no, I just can't remember. Too many people. But anyway, you know who I'm talking to. He was telling me that his friend's using these and absolutely mopping up on the gold. So that is very interesting. So a lot of people said these are the bee's knees. So whatever else is out there, because these have got the quick release cable, or replace if you want to replace the cable for any reason. David's making custom cables for these as well, short ones, long ones, whatever. I really thought about putting Bluetooth 5.3 in these, but I'll tell you what, you may agree, you may not agree. Okay? You may have a complete different opinion than mine, but I'll tell you right now, if you do that, you have to put in a battery. And the only thing it's going to hold up is probably a LiPo or Li-ion, like lithium ion or a lithium polymer. Now, if you watch some videos on batteries exploding, I do not want a battery that far from my side of my head. Okay? I'll tell you, I don't care if it's down sitting near my leg or on a belt or whatever. I don't care, because you have enough reaction time to bloody knock it off and get rid of it if it goes up in flames. You know, we've heard about people who slept with their mobile phone and on their pillow, and it blew up in the middle of the night, and they're no longer with us. I don't think it's advisable to put batteries in headphones, really. I mean, you could put carbon cells or alkaline energizers, but then you get a weight problem, and you don't have much life. Then you get if you're going to put recharges in there as well, then you run the issue with exploding batteries. Even NiCads and nickel metal hydrides will let go if they're not charged properly. So I thought about it, and I come to a conclusion. What you should do is we put a short cable and you can run a Bluetooth just hanging down a bit. Don't put it in the earmuffs. See, on any headphone, if you look inside it, you got a battery in here, right? And where's your blast going to go? It's going to come out here, right down your ear hole. And because it's clamped on your head, it's going to develop a fair amount of pressure. So I think it's damn dangerous. I don't like it. It's personal opinion. I will not do it. You'll never see me running headphones with a battery in it stuck on my ears. No way. I won't do it. People don't think, always think of what if. Is it possible? Bloody oath it's possible. So don't lose your head just for some wireless headphones. Anyway, cable ones sound better anyway, if you ask me. I like direct connect. I don't like all this. Sometimes with Bluetooth, you get funny phase things. You get reflections, and you get this. I haven't heard it for a while, but on some of the early stuff, I think Bluetooth 5.1, I think it was, you get this sort of a noise. That's what it sounds like. It goes, and it's multi-pathing from a reflection somewhere, even off your own detector. There's a little bit of phase change, and the digital signal goes crazy. So you wouldn't want that to happen going over a nugget. Just being pedantic there, but I, being there, notice that, recall that, just be careful with it. And yeah, you can go and use battery headphones, but think about it. Think about it. Why don't you run the battery out? Put the battery on top in a little plastic holder. Okay, so if it wants to do a pyrotechnics display, you can look like a Roman candle with flames coming off your head like this, rather than blasting into your ear. I'm just saying this from a safety aspect. To me, it's common sense. But, marketing and, the ergonomics sometimes get in the way of common sense. I'm being realistic here. You know, I've seen things like this happen. You see all those little scooters people park here, there, and everywhere. Next minute, there's pyrotechnics going off. Imagine that. Um, Even though the batteries are probably small, they're still probably around about an amp hour or so, half an amp. There's a fair amount of energy in lithium. If it goes off, you'll know about it, or you may not know about it. Depends how it goes off. You either get a burnt ear, or if it explodes, you might not have an ear left. I don't know, but it's just one of those things. I take issue with it. Uh, I thought about doing it. I said, "Oh, look, I could do that. That'd be easy to do." But then I thought, no, there's that danger element to it. So uh, we got to be careful. Just got to be careful. I do think that a short lead clip-in system in a separate box that can, uh, if a battery does go, can somehow retain that initial blast, so you don't get fried, and you can just grab your gear and fry it on the ground and watch it do a pyrotechnic. Uh, it's probably one of the reasons I don't like lithium batteries, but I have been doing my research, and some particular cells now are a lot better. Um, they're they're leaving a particular. We're leaving cobalt. Sorry, cobalt. They're leaving cobalt out of the battery mixers. Gives them less energy density. I'm just losing my voice, and even that little bit of energy lost, they are less likely to explode. But they can still explode because you ever seen a Tesla go up? They do. Buses, yep, go up. And some of those have got non-cobalt batteries. They still explode and go up. So just be wary of high energy density batteries, especially these anything with lithium batteries. I'm not too perturbed about the alkaline batteries. Um, I've never seen an alkaline battery explode, but I tell you what, when I was a kid, about 6 years old, I had a red Ever Ready D size explode in my hand for no reason. It just went bang and blew the top off. Um, I don't know what happened to it. I was just running around with it for some reason, but I remember it vividly. It did explode, blow the top off. So you just don't know, you know. Don't cop that. So that was an interesting video. I suppose it bored you all to tears. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably long enough. I'm not looking at. I've got no camera to look at here. I've got no screen. I mean, I'm looking at the camera. The camera's looking at me, but I'm doing it on the front camera, so I can't look at the screen to see what's going on. I wouldn't even know if this is pointing down here or it's pointing up here or there or there. I'm pretty sure it's right, so I'll soon find out. Yeah. The other thing too, I looked at everyone saying about SD2000s, SD2100s, SD2200s. I've looked into doing this, right? Now, I tell you what, I'm going to do the work. I want you guys to do the work on your own detector electronics. I'm going to show you how to do it, okay? It's not fair if I just do someone's detector against all the. I've been inundated basically. I can't just go, oh, I'm going to do his detector and all or whatever. No, I'll show you in great detail. You'll be able to do it to your own detector. Okay. I've got some bits coming, some very good bits, but I've got them cheap. Okay. And we're not talking much. First thing in all these detectors, we are going to redo the power supply. Okay. Because the power supply creates a bucket load of noise in all these detectors. And we're going to convert the power supply system to something very similar that turned up in the GPs and GPXs. We're going to put in a storage stop-start power supply that when the detector is transmitting, it fills up the reservoir, or the power supply turns on because who cares? It fills up the reservoir capacitors, and when the detector stops transmitting and when it goes into receive mode, you don't want all this. You don't want a switch mode power supply there going generating crap all through the rest of the componentry. It's so sensitive. It picks it up. It's proven. I've done it with separate supplies anyway. I've done my bench. I just run my variable supply on it, give it the other rail, and all the noise goes away. You find out on a cancel coil, by the way, on those detectors, because they haven't got a cancel mode. So anyway, I'm proving it. You'll get a massive performance increase. So that's what I'm doing. We're going to put in. It's easy. All you do is basically cut one diode and solder on 4 wires. If you can do that, beautiful. It's so simple to do. And you're going to have to put some capacitors in there too. There's capacitors in there. I think what we do, we get rid of that. We throw that to the tip, garbage dump, and we put in a nice big modern electro. So we'll have energy storage during that receive on time when the power supply is turned off. Because I've actually been able to find some modules, we'll call them modules, boards. I might have to do a little bit of work to them to get them perfect, but it's got an inhibit pin that's fast acting. So we can turn it on and off really fast, where most stuff out there doesn't work fast. It turns off in 10 microseconds and takes 15 to turn on. Sorry, the events have already happened after the turn on and off. These things turn off really quick, turn off within a microsecond. Bang, bang. So we're not going to get any nastiness coming through. I've got other ways. I can do damping and everything. I can just shut the coils right down, or coil right down, and there'll be no emissions whatsoever. I'll just have it happen in the pass band of when the transmitter's on. Makes no difference then. It doesn't cause an issue with anything. So we'll go for quiet power supply as the number one thing. The biggest improvement you'll ever see is shutting up the noisy switch mode. Um, it's been, it's been a problem since those detectors were made. It does. It affects everything. You go and get an oscilloscope and go stick it on your power supply rails, right? And just stick it in AC range and go down to 5 millivolts or 10 millivolts even, and you have a look at this all over the voltage rails. Oh my God, sorry. It's getting into everything. It really desensors these detectors. Because I've always said the older detectors are actually built very, very well. Very well indeed, actually. And if you really look at the, if you take into account, look at the SD2000, okay, the way it works, the layout. Um, it's got what I would call the absolute bee's knees front end in that detector, except for the switching MOSFETs that are old and lossy. And yeah, total, I think I calculated it up. I think there's a total of about 25 ohms resistive loss in the two switching transistors on those designs because they used old, um, what are they called? Ringer hook transistors. That's what they're for telephones, believe it or not. And they're lossy. So we can put new modern low capacitance, low on resistance, fast, um, better stability because of the vertical structures of the transistors themselves. They're not planars. Planars are a bit noisy. I did do some testing on that. I thought planars might have an edge for a particular reason. Nah. All the VMOS transistors are quieter. And also, I'm not going to go into everything, but there's other ways of doing it. We can drive the gates differently. We can do all sorts of things. We can replace the noisy old 4093 that drives those things. We can do a lot of stuff. Some of the op amps uh, can be changed as well. I think most of those detectors are full of 5534s. Get rid of them, and we'll just got a whole heap of newer stuff we can put in there that is better. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of stuff we can do. Even on these detectors, like the fives and that 4.5s, there's a whole heap of stuff in those we can change out as well. We could probably change out just about every device, every amplifier device in there. I'm talking about amplifier ICs. We can change them out to newer devices, right? So you can do it. It'd be like rebuilding a whole detector. A lot of work goes in doing that because, first of all, rather than building a detector, you have to disassemble the detector and delicately pull all these chips off without damaging the board and ripping the tracks off or anything. Clean it all up and then put new chips on. So it's double the work to actually do that. You make a new detector quicker, sort of thing. Um, but because we've got these things, they're pretty good yardsticks to work with. We can do all that. There's a heap of stuff we can do. Um, yeah, there's a lot of stuff too. There really is a lot of stuff. Um, and there's stuff. Look, my opinion, right? This is not a fact of life. It's just my opinion that some of the engineering on these detectors, in particular areas, um, there's stuff that's been overlooked. We'll put it that way. We'll say it's been overlooked. In my opinion. I say in my opinion because I don't want Minelab cracking the wobblies and trying to sue me. So I have to use that. That's a universal get out jail free word, my opinion, because it's protected under the Charter of Human Rights, which Australia is a signatory to. So, no company wants anyone to say, oh, this stuff's crap or whatever. No, that's not, I didn't say that. I said it's probably been overlooked because at the time of manufacture, maybe things weren't available then. I don't know. I haven't really looked in that hard, but I've seen stuff there, and I just go, hang on, I'll just do this and do this, and oh well, that got rid of that noise. Just stuff like that. It might even be the original electrolytic capacitors drying out, losing capacity. I don't know. Just my opinion. So I don't want to go and poo-poo anything because well, they are a good detector, and they actually beat the pants off just about everything out there. You look, in my opinion, I'll say this again. in my opinion. Give me a Garrett pulse induction detector, right? Or give me a Minelab detector, a Minelab pulse induction detector. Well, the Garrett's going to go in the garage and get put on top shelf and never be looked at ever again. It's just because I don't like them. They don't perform, in my opinion. They don't perform for me, okay? Minelab kills them in performance, in my opinion. Right? Sugar. Um, you know, I want what gets the gold. I don't care if it goes 15 feet underwater. It doesn't interest me. But yeah, um, sorry, I'm probably been affected by COVID. It's probably gone to my head. So sorry, getting carried away. Shit. I said shit, shit. I didn't say the T on the end. You gotta be careful. Um, yeah, apart from that, that's where we're up to. I just haven't made a video for a couple of days. I thought that I might, you know, prop myself up and make one. Yeah, anyway, enough. So I'll spin this around. I'll go back and face it at that little thing I got over there, that uh, little microscope thing, gadget. Yeah, very, very interesting unit. Anyway, catches.